Welcome to what will, if things go well, be our final stream of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. We are extremely close to 100% completion. And we were maybe within half a boss of doing so in the last stream, except perhaps things didn't go quite well after that. We started running a fair bit low on cash for further continues and resets. Now, we have done a few things since the last stream. You'll notice that I am kind of fully buffed up, and I've got a maximum Tomato in the inventory and 800 seconds on speed, 999, which is the maximum on attack. That would be because we actually have been spending some time filling out some of the remaining trophies in Volume 1 for buying a sufficient number of items from both of the shops, as well as punching in all of the present codes that we can. So we'll be going back into the Colosseum fight a bit more powerful than we were last time, where we just had the base abilities and no buffs, and still managed to do fairly well. So I think a clear is probably going to be in the cards today. We also have 11 rare stones, which is important to note here because it means we've got plenty available for blowing some of our remaining pool of cash on upgrades. And I haven't quite selected mine yet. I know I'll definitely want to go with the Morvonite sword because that's what we were using on the final fight in the Colosseum. And yeah, that's going to take up 5, as we can see here, as well as 2,500 coins. And as far as the remaining 6 rare stones, we haven't quite allocated them yet. I was thinking Time Crash, because Time Crash is amazing, but Time Crash effectively would only get you quickly through one boss, and so maybe it's not the most cost-effective return if our main objective is to try to clear the finale. Masked Hammer is also a choice. I don't know, and I suspect the upgrades do not affect the Treasure Road challenges, because if they did, upgrading Masked Hammer would be obviously a very good idea, since we are just missing that one timed checkmark on this challenge as pretty much the only other thing we have to do, and one thing that does not count towards 100% completion so far as I know. It's something totally optional that is still a bit of a dangling annoyance as the last thing we've been unable to clear. But I probably just wanted to spend effectively to try to maximize our chances of getting through the final fight, and so let's actually do the sword first then. Power it up. Cortica 666. That's a very good question. I think we can only speculate about Kirby's godly range of powers when it comes to the many uses of his inhaling and exhaling. We're powered up to Morphonite Sword Plus, and yeah, might as well log some of our upgrades as we go. So here's one thing that I actually do want to test then. I want to go into the challenge for the Morpho Sword to see if the upgrade applies. I assume the answer is no. Okay, let's see here. Corticus, I think the main issue with that is that you would just be kind of swallowed up completely, more likely than not. I'm sure the copy ability afterwards would be spectacular. Anyway, we're not going to do this challenge in full. I just want to check quickly if we get to keep the upgrade, which I assume we will not. Let's just take a quick look. In the same way that I don't think any of the buffs apply either, because the point of these challenges is to be calibrated very strictly. Actually, no, you do get to keep the upgrade. That's important because it means that we should, in fact, consider spending the other one on Hammer in order to use it. Because, yeah, you actually do have the timers ticking down as well. Okay, that's a good thing to know, because it means I will probably upgrade Hammer instead. Criticus, I don't know if that would give Kirby any power that he does not already have. It's not going to be that much of an improvement, I'm afraid. I'm not sure if you've been asking that question in most of the other Kirby streams just to sample the answers that are on offer. I'm sure you must have heard some very interesting ones by this point. But more than that, we cannot speculate. Okay. The upgrade is going to do some damage, so I like it. We will, like I said, probably stick with a hammer since we are on a bit of a limited budget here. We have 6 rare stones. If we do finish the final Colosseum, we will be sitting on 9. On the other hand, if we upgrade something else to help us through the Colosseum, then we can spend up to 4. And then we would still have enough to grab hammer at the end. The question is whether I would want to... Yeah, because I'm thinking that I probably don't want to just have 2 different melee range powers in case we choose to go range for one of the other fights, given how much I've been using things like the Space Ranger and the Cutter to mitigate damage, so... This costs 3. This costs 2. Yeah, because the idea would be that maybe if I upgrade one of the ranged abilities, then when we finish the Colosseum, then we can swap to hammer and upgrade that with the stones that we've got at the end, and then take that into the checkmark challenge instead. Let me see what other options we have here when it comes to the upgrade costs, because it means we would have a budget of 4 right now, unless of course we just do an additional stones run at the end. So I'm thinking either Cutter or Ranger would be the best idea here, but not both. Yeah, Cutter I really do get a ton of use out of, though, because it's used for both close range and long-ranged attacks. I don't know about that. Let's go... Let's actually go with Cutter, then. It is one of my most used abilities, personally. And we'll need to make sure we have enough cash at the end, too, for further upgrades. +1. Okay, that's actually only a +1 upgrade. It seems like multiple upgrades are available for the same item. And I actually did not realize that it would have multiple tiers. If I did, I don't know if that would actually have changed anything. It doesn't really allow you to preview that. But let's try this just to give the damage a bit of a go. And yeah, so I guess to fully power up everything, this would actually be quite costly in the end. But yeah, the upgrade is quite nice. It actually seems to have a slightly wider range as well, but I don't know if that's just something slightly illusory. However, we are still going to take Time Crash into the first fight against Goramondo, I think, and we'll just whittle him down with stars. Anyway, that's a fairly strong incentive to be doing many different Colosseum runs. Time Crash against Phantom Goramondo probably isn't going to do too much, but we shall see. Main thing is damage mitigation, of course. We don't want to spend too much on continuations. So as you can see, last time we got to this with 1 battle left. And yeah, if we ever want to fill in some additional currency, we can always just do a quick Meta Knight Cup or something, since that only takes a few minutes. But I think we'll go right in to attempt that 100% clear, because currently we are at a solid 96. Alright, let's try it. So yeah, last time I used one continue until the final fight, and the final fight really started eating away at our bank. Drill is going to be offered first. Oh, the order is actually different. So the order is not going to be the same every time. We actually have Woods first. That's fine, because we probably still want to crash into him. Except Drill is so much better for the Woods fight, because you can go under defense in that one later phase. So much better, in fact, that I may switch. No, let's time crash it. We can always retry it if we don't like this strategy. I didn't realize there would be that order changed. Actually, time crash is going to do quite a lot of work here. Okay. Yeah, even without upgrades, time crash is going to do the work. And that's going to be a quick snipe. I guess that is partly because we are buffed up significantly from items as well. Anyway, we're going to switch straight into Edge Knight's Sword against the next fight, which is going to be two mini-bosses. Looks like Wild Frosty, Wild Edge. We'll see this upgrade in action. Whoops, taking some hits already. Okay, let's not take too much damage here. And let's stay on sword. Looks like he's invulnerable for a while. That's okay, we'll take him out, and we are at full thanks to the Morpho Sword absorption. That'll be a nice quick finish. Looks like it is going to be DDD next with the Wild Hammer. I see no reason I shouldn't just go for sword. It'll have a faster dodge. Here. Anyway, let's slap everybody. Whoops, tried to get out of that with a dodge, and that was not quite successful. Okay, let's aim a little better from time to time. Looks like they'll have the phase transition here, and let's see how we do. Yeah, the Morpho dodge is going to be quite good here. Look at that, even just a level 2 charge is enough to absolutely wreck this guy. Okay, we're in great shape. So what's next? It's going to be another dual mini-boss. It looks like probably Bunkers and Florina by the looks of it. Do we want to go Space Ranger? No, let's stay on Sword. Because the lifesteal on the Sword is a pretty significant benefit here. Even if we do need to fight Bunkers at melee, which is maybe not the best idea. There we go. That's quick. Mr. Electrodude, welcome. So yeah, Electrodude, it does seem like the item upgrades do affect the Treasure Road challenges, so I may upgrade Hammer and try to cheese the Hammer checkmark later. It looks almost as if the Hammer time is balanced around that expectation for all I know, so... but anyway, we're going to see Goramundo next. Do we want to stay on Sword or Hammer? Let's stay on Sword. It's working out well for me right now, so... Partly because of all the item buffs as well, of course. Oh, nope. Tried to dodge out of that. We had a lot of issues dodging out of this guy in the previous round with him, so... Also, this attack is new to me. I kind of discovered that by accident while I was playing around with it. But yeah, you can just project these. And they do a little bit of work for you. And yeah, I only buffed up Electrodude because I was getting the shop trophies. So I thought, okay, we might as well just stack everything and take it into the arena with us. Looks like the Silly Dillo is next. I think we'll definitely stay on sword for this one. I don't know if I want to use replenishment items yet. I think I can probably do with the lifesteal for now. And then we'll see. Okay. Whoop. Here we go. Got a combo into him for just a little bit of lifesteal, and let's see this phase. And we can get really quite close to him. Okay. Thanks to the sword dodge. Okay. I could try to tap him for some extra damage, but let's not take risks here. Oh, trying to dodge that, and there we go. Pretty clean so far. Let's try to charge up the sword when you have the opportunity, of course. Oh, this part of the pattern we should run from, although Morpho Sword dodge is going to give me plenty of distance. There we go. And that's just going to wreck him. Okay. Next is going to be Coraline. I think Sword is probably better than Tornado for this one as well, so... Yeah, so far we've upgraded Sword and Cutter, and I'm saving up for upgrading Hammer. Okay. Let's let her do her job. And then we'll just whip her with counter right away. Look at that. And then... Yeah, I love how quickly you can get in close with Morpho Sword, but we'll have to just do the 4 dodges in a row for this part here. Oh, was trying to be a little bit fancy there and get the attack and a dodge at the same time. Nope. Yeah, got a little bit sloppy at the end, unfortunately. So we should probably tap one of the replenishment items coming out of this fight, just as a bit of a safety buffer. Particularly going into Meta Knight. Yeah, let's grab one. And we've got 5 more rounds and 5 more health items, so I think we're doing okay so far. Anyway, Phantom Meta Knight, let's go. I've only faced Phantom Meta Knight once before, so I can't say I really know his pattern yet. Might as well see his intro. Don't get to see it every day. Yeah. Oh, whoops, trying to dodge through that. That was not the most successful. As long as I don't get comboed by him in midair, which is the major problem with fighting Meta Knight, I should probably be okay. Yeah, losing the sword quite a bit though, that's not good news. Okay. He's gonna try to dive at me here. Oh, nope. That's okay, this is an easy dodging pattern. We just have a couple of these to work through, and it's actually, I think, fairly simple. Yeah. Nope, tried to dodge out of that, and I missed. Okay. So close to just getting him quickly as well. Yeah, too bad about that one dodge. We'll definitely need to pick up some health coming out of this one. So, yeah, that was so close to going very well, and unfortunately it did not, so we'll grab this. We'll get into Wild DD with this half health pool. I think we can probably replenish a little bit from here, so not too worried. While DDD does give you the option of switching to hammer mid-fight, I don't think we'll necessarily do it, but Phantom Forgo DDD, I should say. Now, just have to make sure we don't get trapped on the wrong side of the lava. That's the main thing about this fight, is just when he stomps around. Actually, he's just going to die, so, or at least get into phase 2 quickly. Anyway, here's Phantom Beast again in form. And we'll just watch the meteors. And we'll stay way out of range. He's going to stomp around a bit. Whoop. Let's not get hit. Okay. Okay. Yeah, best to be a little more defensive all around, I think. Okay. We'll just fire these just to get a little bit extra tap damage here now. Whoop. And we'll get out of here and then find him where he exits. And there we go. Not the cleanest, but it was okay. A little bit of cash couldn't hurt. I don't think I actually keep the cash until I exit, do I? I'm not really sure. Maybe I do. I wasn't really tracking my bank here. Anyway, 4 items left and 3 rounds. So let's fill up as we get into Phantom Leon. Yeah, upgraded Morpho Sword so far has been doing the work. So let's stay on it. Yeah, bad idea. But we did charge up at least. Okay. This attack is dodgeable. But we do need to be careful. Second layer charge gives you a spin. A third layer charge does not, because it gives you the big sword instead. Phase 2. Okay, now for this one we need to be aware of the companion damage from Soul Forgo. Okay. Whoops. Where's my sword? Nope. Hang on. Really can't afford to lose that. Okay, let's just pull out way out of there. Getting close. Too close. That's okay. We're not doing too badly. But this phase is where it gets a little bit dicey, so... we go. Yeah, using the skull projectile attack at range seems to be extremely beneficial. We've got Morpho Knight next. We should probably just stay on Morpho versus Morpho. And I see no disadvantage here to picking up one item, because I doubt I'll fill up the complete meter. And then we'll be able to fill up completely going into the final fight. Okay. We can also use the spin to get in close if we can. Morpho Ditto, exactly. It's a mirror matchup. I guess, I don't remember which term to use in the Smash community. Did they say Ditto in Smash? I think I call it mirror because of, mainly because of StarCraft, but probably some other fighting games as well. And, whoops. Okay, let's just stay on. Okay, and then stay on at range. Get a little bit of extra chip damage in. Just keep a distance, perhaps. Okay. Okay. Nope. Just trying to dodge out of everything here, just to be extra defensive. And then we're just both going to whiff against each other. There we go. Quick and easy. The spin actually seems to do more damage than the big sword. Yeah, the big sword, when you charge it up, it's more useful for future attacks, not on the round that you charge it. Like, it's kind of an investment in future swipes if you can get it in before the sword expires. In some of the previous fights, doing the big sword has gotten me very far. Look at that, this is just going to fill me up directly. Yeah, we're not going Space Ranger for this, obviously. We're going to stay on sword. And we might as well leave these items on the side, not that we really gain much benefit from them either way. And we have one full heal as well. Main issue last time was that getting to this fight, I had not yet learned all of Phase 2. But yeah, for this attack, this is just, you do a stationary crouch, you hold the attack button, and the range is quite good on this. It looks like there's a bit of a homing effect to it too, from what I could see. And when you fire it, you can also have it move with you, even in the defensive slide. So I'm quite pleased with bringing that into the rotation, and also just using the second level charge for the spin when we need movement. Okay, might as well watch this grand entrance one more time. Chaos Elvolus. Okay, let's remember to play at least somewhat defensively. No, that was a bad start. Yeah, the lifesteal is very beneficial here, of course. Nope, trying to get out of that. Where's my sword? There we go. We're still nearly at full just from not taking very much damage. Okay. Anyway, the nice thing about this boss is that we get to listen to this music track again, which is just one of those wonderful boss tracks. Whoop. Nope, trying to get in an extra swipe there. Maybe that was not too wise. Whoops, trying to charge before dodge there, and that did not go quickly enough for me to do what I wanted. And there we go. That's okay. We're still nearly at full. We're going into the latter part of Phase 1. Yeah, this we just need to sustain ourselves and watch the shadow as often as possible. For the shadow, the dodge is just going to be maintaining elevation up top. That seems to be the most effective way to deal with it. As long as we remain grounded quickly enough to dodge, everything else is going to come our way. And yeah. And then we're just going to fill up health here with a couple of swipes. I think we learned last time that the shadow is actually to tell. And let's go mouthful mode for phase 2 of this fight. Okay. Now we wiggle the stick. I'm actually swapping hands for the stick here. And we have to open it up in the correct direction to get into phase 2. You're telling me there's a bit of lag on the sound? Yeah, since we're going into phase 2, let's maybe reset the sound quickly. Just to be absolutely safe about that, because I don't want to have a desync going into what might potentially be a kill, so... And here we are. Give me just one moment. It probably will bother me if I look over to VOD afterwards, so let's just try to resync everything and make sure audio performance is fine. Okay. Best record is 1 battle left. This is that one battle, so we just need to not get completely cleaned out, especially because we just have 1 item left. But we've got plenty of time on the attack buffs and everything. Let's dodge the black hole, that's important. Last time one of the big issues was that I got trapped. Oh, we got trapped. Like I said. And it does so much damage. It takes half the bar away. Yeah, I thought I would have enough time to pull out of that, and I did not. Nope. Yeah. No particular disadvantage to using the buff items, I think, given that... Or rather, the health items, given that we already have the buffs going. So we're not going to get some kind of no item time on this fight anyway. So if we do get very low, we will load up on health, I think. Depending on how good this attempt is going. I mean, I am still learning this phase and learning how to read it, so... Okay. And then we stay suspended like this. Great. Oh no, there's gonna be one more. You can kind of read from the shadows ahead of time to see where the safe zone is going to be on this. Look at that. Huge damage. I feel like we have got a decent chance. Even if I am completely buffed up for this fight. Nope. Black hole is a bad idea. Let's get out. Let's get out. Ooh, okay. Okay, I got in the ring, that's fine. We didn't take much punishment here, thanks to Morpho dodging. Okay. Nope. Okay, this attack pattern we had some trouble with previously. Let's try to hit him at range. That's actually maybe the best idea here. Because then we don't need to get in close. Yeah, we'll dodge this as well. Okay. You found that you want to run circles around a black hole. Yeah, I was trying to slide away from it, and it worked a little bit last time, but this went a lot better. So yeah, this is of course with full buffs plus the sword upgrade. That went quite well. And now we'll see the true ending. And I believe that I do need to roll for one of the remaining trophies, and we'll do that, of course, with the remaining bank I have, and hopefully have enough money left over for the hammer upgrade at the end. I mean, we'll get a decent infusion of cash from this fight too, of course. But yeah, Alphalus and I have an understanding now that I've killed Chaos. Victory! He made it back. The champion of Planet Popstar has done it. Kirby wins. That is, of course, with a bevy of defensive items carrying me all the way through. But I guess that's the benefit of grabbing those shop trophies before I came in here. Let's see what we get. We've got cash, we've got stones, we've got a couple of additional rewards. Here's our bounty. We've got a couple of endgame figures over here. Let's crack them open. Chaos Alphalus. A unique convergence of elements from native beast souls to ethereal butterfly gave a stubborn soul one last chance of revenge. This new creation, driven by pure chaos, was defeated by the bright light of Kirby's hope. The last bit of life that remained willingly returned to Alphalin. At last, two became one. And in the correct vessel, it would have gone quite badly if they were united the other way. Do you realize that you conquered all of the Colosseum tournaments? Yes, I do. I do. And we've got another gift. And commentator Waddle Dee was so scared that he almost shut everything down, but his curiosity won in the end. As a fellow commentator, I completely understand. And then we have even more accomplishments. A new photo has been added to the wall. We haven't really even looked at the wall there. As you clear different modes, new photos will be added to the wall inside Kirby's house. We've cleared a couple of different modes, so 10 photos in total. Okay. Let's take a look at that to see how close to 100% we really are. Oh, he's got something for me. Oh, that's interesting. I think I'd rather roll for something by cash. I don't think we'll actually make that trade. Search this world's many stages and try to collect all 256 figures. I think we'll probably just roll for the last one with cash, because currently I'm looking at this. We're missing 2 figurines. We're missing one for the cinema, which I'm probably able to just walk into and unlock unless we have something photo related that I need to look at. Yeah, because this one I will not be able to trade for. I actually do need to unlock it. And this one we can roll for. Yeah, because I'd rather save my stones for upgrades. Let's see what the cinema situation is in case we're missing a cutscene. Oh, Trader Waddle Dee is a total scam. I mean, yeah, because by the time you get all of the upgrades, chances are at that point you've already spent what you can on collecting all the trophies as well, so. All of the movies are now available in the cinema, and yes, there we go. And And we've got Usher, a Waddle Dee. Let's take a look at this selection here in case we have any surprises. Yeah, just a lot of the entrance cutscenes, and then, of course, the grand finale. A new species of world consumer, and not just the kind that shop at the mall level that we saw earlier in the game. Finding the light? We certainly did that. We actually still have a little bit of buff time left too. Especially on the attack, in fact, which indicates to me that going for the hammer challenge is likely a good idea. Let's grab the trophy first. I'm going to talk to him first. We're not going to trade, but it gave me a figure that you don't have. No. Okay. Let's see what we'll do here. Number 4. And yeah, we just need to dump money in this until we get the one last remaining figure, which was locked behind completing the final Colosseum. Deep sleep. We could use more deep sleep all the time. There we go. Phantom Meta Knight, a lone illusory foe that you encountered outside of Forgo Dreams. When Vecta Forgo tried to control Meta Knight like an at King DDD, the experienced swordsman came out on top through sheer force of will. But the result was this mysterious doppelganger, formed by the residual psychic energy. Oh, okay, we've got a music change in the collection screen. Let's see what it is. Anyway, that's technically 100%, although, of course, as we know, we are missing one check mark. And we do have a music change already, in fact. Let's take a look here. And yeah, I wonder, in fact, if this track is also added to the band. Not that we need it, given that we have the figurine collection complete at this point, with Phantom Meta Knight being the final one in the mix. Alright, let's upgrade the hammer and let's finish that other thing. We've got 7 of these so far. I have not yet upgraded Time Crash as I intended. I also didn't know until I upgraded Buzzsaw Cutter earlier that some of these have multiple tiers, in fact. Thought all of them were just 1-tier upgrades. But we'll obviously go for Masked Hammer next. And I guess we'll never know if I could have beaten it the standard way with no buffs and no upgrades, but the time check is tight enough that I'd rather just finish it. And we've got lots of cash left over for this, which is important. This ability has now reached its max attack power. How did I grind the rare stones for all of these? So, Electrodude, I didn't. So I obviously had to grab the trophy for, what was it? This guy. And so I just entered a bunch of additional codes that I had not already entered, and that gave me, I think, an additional 6 or so. And of course I just got 3 from beating Colosseum Z. Yeah, Masked Hammer plus... Yeah, because I've only upgraded Cutter and... what is it? cutter and morpho so far, and hammer now, of course. So I've spent 12, and I have how many left over? I have 2 left over. Okay. So yeah, I figured since I needed the remaining figurines for 100% anyway, I might as well just do all the shop stuff before getting on a stream. You may be missing some online codes, and you only had enough to upgrade Volcano Fire. Well, spoken like somebody who fell for this scam and must have traded rare stones for too many trophies. There might have been some new codes since you checked. But there weren't really that many that gave rare stones, though. Like, I think the rare stone codes were available kind of baked into the game itself instead of anything promotional. Yeah, also, after beating that, I don't think we have any new information from Wise Waddle Dee, but we'll check. Solo record for Ultimate Cup 209. I really do wonder what this Toy Hammer strategy is, because Toy Hammer has the record on a lot of these, and I wonder if it's just the speed of the attack and how quickly you can get it charged up and everything. But anyway, we are going to do the Hammer Challenge. You may have traded for a single duplicate figurine. Yeah. That seems like the kind of thing that can happen. Okay. This is literally the last thing to accomplish here. Well, apart from one thing, which is that I'm told there are a bunch of secret rooms that are unlisted that I haven't found, which are also like some of the secrets in the past Kirby games, like the HAL developer room and so on. We haven't found those, and you know, if we have time left over, maybe we can look for one or two. But I don't actually know where to look. Apparently there was a secret on the bridge battle as well, which I was told about, but which I didn't actually find. But yeah, we could maybe look for the HAL rooms afterwards if we have time, since if we do this quickly with the upgrade, we might actually finish pretty early today. This might also just end up being a short stream. I don't know that we'll necessarily switch to anything off Kirby if we do finish quickly. Okay, I like the charge time on this. And also the fact that the damage on a repeated attack now seems to kill instantly instead of just doing chip damage. Okay. I'm not doing this very optimally, but we're just still getting used to current speed on a hammer. Also, my speed buff is about to run out, so maybe I really should have done this a little more efficiently while we had the items to do it. Main issue for me later is to not get swallowed up by the snake. Yeah, but look at how quickly these guys go down. Yeah. Whoops. I wasted a little bit of time on this room here. And nope, we got swallowed by a snake. So yeah, I'm probably not going to hit a time benchmark this time unless we do bonkers really cleanly. This room was a bit too much of a mess. I might actually just restart to keep our buff time going, but since I'm clearly not going to make it, yeah, it makes sense to restart. For the most part, the level 1 charge will be enough against these guys, and the level 2 charge against some of the later enemies. We don't need a full charge every time, given that it's not going to give me much range. Yeah, level 2 charge is plenty against that guy. Level 3 charge will give me a nice big spin against these guys. Yeah. Whoops. Let's not stand too close here. Oops. Oops. Okay, once again, we need to mostly be aware of the snake. No, I try to get out of range, and he has such a long reach. It's a ridiculous reach on that guy. Actually, getting the counter dodge is pretty good here because of the slow time effects and getting the counter spin going. Okay. Bonkers time. I think I'm still going to be too slow. Too slow. No, I'm going to be just a few seconds off, in fact. So even with the buff items here, I'm about 5 seconds away. Yeah, and that's with the attack buff. I may actually still want to load up on items for this, since we're still kind of way off. Let's go back to the D-Town and rest up a bit. Might as well deep sleep it because we're cheap and we're saving up cash for future item upgrades. And let's deep sleep a couple of buffs in here and might as well enjoy this effect. So yeah, about 4 or 5 seconds off. You dreamt you were playing Splatoon 3, but Kirby made an appearance. That sounds like a very pleasant dream. Oh, we actually got the double health buff. This is the first time I've seen the double health buff in this game because I never actually used the item for it. I guess it works like the extra 3 HP mushrooms in some of the recent 3D Mario games, where it just gives you the extended health pool until it's depleted. I might as well try to get speed in there as well. So yeah, definitely we still have a couple of efficiency issues to work out on the other challenge, but at least it seems like the masked hammer with the upgrade and with the attack buff gets bonkers down really quickly, which is one of the major roadblocks for me. Bonkers was not the problem there, it was kind of the group hammer fight that was probably the biggest time loss. Let's try it again. And, yeah, this is going to be such a packed year for Nintendo. Especially with Splatoon 3 coming, that seems to be a pretty significant event. Probably the most significant thing I'm looking forward to, other than Strikers, of course, but Strikers, you know, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this game here, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, it's set a very high standard for this year's video game calendar. Yeah, sliding out of that swipe and not dealing with the snake is going to be pretty beneficial here. Yeah, going for the snakes as soon as possible. These guys really do get in the way. And we're already... No, we're too short in time, already at 124 left. Didn't get anywhere close. Yeah, that fight needs a lot of improvement. I think we need to make a lot more use of the triple attack here to snipe distant enemies at range, so I have less travel time going on. Might work more efficiently than to spin, unless you're attacking with the spin when enemies are busy spawning. Like... Yeah, because that way I just reduce the amount of movement time that I have going on. It's possible I'm spending too much time charging spins when it's more effective not to do so. Nope. Oh, we got sniped. That guy is a genuine annoyance. Okay. And these guys hop around everywhere too, so the spins don't tend to catch them very well. No, we're way down on time again. 9 seconds remaining. Yeah, let's buff up. I was thinking about the air spin too. You have to aim the cross pretty well on the air spin though. And that's one thing that I'm definitely not doing well. Let's try it again. Yeah, this is still pretty difficult even with upgrades and buffs, which is maybe not what I was expecting, but let's go. Because, yeah, it indicates to me that I'm definitely losing too much to travel time. Because even my first attempt was better than how those last two went. Anyway, one round of buffs is pretty good for maybe about 3 attempts. Depending. Yeah, because it gives you about 3 minutes of uptime. So maybe 2 attempts. We'll see. Actually, I wonder if Deep Sleep is going to stack these the way that items stack. I don't know if it will. If you hold the attack button after doing a spin, you'll bounce and can change direction into bounds. Let's see here. Oh, whoops, I didn't actually get to demo that. 1 second. I'm not seeing the bounce. Maybe I'm not getting the timing down accurately. Oh, you mean the air spin? Oh, that's interesting, that you can actually chain the air spin. Deep Sleep does not stack past 200. Okay, yeah, that explains why I had not seen any of the stacking previously until I loaded up on items for the shop achievement. And welcome, Rotator, if I'm reading that correctly, Rotator Cone. That's okay, we don't need to stack it. This is still going to be good for 2 attempts, maybe. Yeah, other than Dragonfire, I really didn't have that much trouble with most of the time challenges in this game. Dragonfire took me a while because I was like within 1 second for the longest time. Yeah, no, this is not a good attempt. Let's try it again. No, that's not good either. We should just do a spin. Yeah, I just haven't really refined a strategy for this yet. Okay. So you can kind of do a multiple bounce on that. Yeah. Okay, that really does cover a lot of the screen, actually, when it comes to a lot of the stragglers, so that could be very useful for the small hammer fight later on, which is where I'm running into the most trouble. Oops. And that's actually going to be quite good, because then you can go to try to snipe the snakes right away. Oh, nope, tried to dodge that, and once again missed. And yeah, those guys really are a nuisance. Okay, this is actually one of our best attempts yet. Let's just try to whip bonkers. No, we're so close. 3 seconds, we might be able to do it. There we go, just barely. Just barely made it. I was thinking, bonkers, that if I did a level 3 charge and a level 1 charge, that would do it. I actually was just slightly off in that calculation, so... At long last, we have this one. Okay, that is a true 100%, more or less. Because if we look at this, I have every time check. Well, that actually went a bit faster than I expected. So we can see what to do now. I mean, I might want to see about whether we can do like a buffless Coliseum or something, but... Tilt and tumble gave you the most trouble. Yeah, I did not have trouble with a tilt and tumble, but afterwards I definitely needed to rest my wrist for a little bit afterwards, because I was definitely feeling a little bit of strain. If I've done everything, well, I mean, favorite ability, it's very difficult not to just say that by the end it was Morpho Knight Sword, because we just got so much mileage out of the entire moveset. I did enjoy both Cutter and, of course, Time Crash quite a bit. Time Crash, especially early on in the game, was amazing. And, yeah, I mean, definitely, I think everything I had at least one really good situational use out of. The only one that I found kind of consistently awkward was Ice. Ice I just never really mastered to my satisfaction. But yeah, everything else I think had a particular use that was quite good. Dragonfire took some adjusting to as well. I can see why, Electrodude, you just opted for Volcano Fire at the end. Well, since we're on anyway, I mean, I am finished with 100%, and this could be a short stream, but we can always do a little bit more Coliseum to maybe try to get some buffless records, or just some other records in general. Yeah, we can definitely beat this time, given that I actually rather embarrassingly took a death on it early on. Let's just try to do a run through the Coliseums again, perhaps. We might as well. And I'm actually going to quickly switch my stream title just to reflect some of this. Yeah, I was a big fan of Cutter. Cutter, I loved how you could get in to do those combos at melee range and also maintain distance, and also have quite a lot of free movement while you are still on the attack. I found that to be very satisfying. Let's time crash the first fight because that's what we do. And yeah, I found the basic sword to be maybe one of the less interesting items at first because it was one of the ones that was maybe not as adapted to 3D as some of the other items. The thing that impressed me about most of the copy abilities was that for the copy abilities returning to the series, for the most part, they really thought about how to make them work differently in a 3D plane when it comes to the advanced parts of the moveset. I didn't really feel that about Sword until the later upgrades, for sure. Anyway, let's crash the party. Actually, this is the mini-boss fight. Crash will kill the first one, and then we'll need to grab ice off Frosty, I think. Whoops. Let's remember to actually activate the power, maybe. That would be helpful. Do I get a hit at the end? I don't. Never mind then, this was not helpful. Anyway, we'll just spam into him all day until we... This was actually a really bad fight. We've got the double health bar though, so I'm not too concerned. Let's grab Hammer. That was actually a really bad opening fight for this tier of the Colosseum. I don't think I want Hammer against her. I want Space Ranger. And we can fill up every fight, so sure, why not? Oh, also, I guess this will not be a buffless record because we came in with the buffs already in place. Come on, swipe. No, my dodges are completely off. Let's try to get the dodge counter on her. And okay. There we go. Finally. Let's try to get the lock on in his face. And yeah, she just gets destroyed by that. Wonder if they designed these movesets the way Pokemon are designed. Make the most complex version first and simplify it for the earlier stages. I actually didn't know that about Pokemon design, but I don't know that series very well. Yeah, no reason to go deep sleep here. Let's just get into Gormondo directly. I mean, we can always buff up, but since we already have the buffs going... you know what, we already have the buffs going. We are not going to get a buffless record, so we'll... oh, except no, I'd lose Ranger if I do that, though. So, I should have thought about that beforehand. Because now we'll lose Ranger. That's okay. That's okay, we'll just go Sword. I did not think that through. Whatever. Yeah, Ranger's a lot better for this fight, but Morpho Sword is pretty good in general, so we'll just whip him. Forgot to extend the attack buff as well, but that's okay. Time Crash, of course we're doing it. Because Time Crash is glorious. Okay. Okay, you actually get him down to nothing going into phase 2. But then I do need to grab this afterwards and do a spit. So sound is being glitchy. Okay, we'll fix that electrocute. I'm glad we didn't have too many of these issues when doing the really critical part of the stream, but and do let me know if there are any further issues with that. We're going to have another group fight here. Yeah, let's just go. Bombs actually against these guys. That'll be decent. That'll be alright. Oops. And we can always switch to sword after this as well. But given that the other half here is going to be a Florina, a bomb might actually be fine. Oops, forgot to tap him at the end. On the other hand, we're getting pretty close in with Florina as well, so... There we go. Want to switch to Tornado? Sure, let's switch to Tornado just for fun. Actually, Meta Knight's going to be next. Meta Knight's going to offer me the sword anyway. We'll probably just wind up switching to the sword. Oh. Never mind that. Let's go back to the non-sword cutscene. Actually, Tornado was how I beat him the first time I went into this fight. So we'll do that way again. This time with Storm. I think I was still on either basic Tornado or floor Tornado the first time I was here. Oops. Nope. We actually still have some defensive buffs remaining here. And we'll just kick up everything we can to eject some projectiles. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, I can stay reasonably close to him. Oh, whoops, I keep failing to dodge this thing. And it's so easy to read, too, every single time. But yeah, it is interesting what you mentioned about the movesets here. I mean, obviously, you know, there are enough of them. Yeah, and this is going to kind of log all three of the buffs that we have, which, alright, whatever. Enough of these copy abilities that were adapted from the ones in 2D that I don't know if necessarily they would work backwards like that, but... Now, given the point is to maybe try to do the second tier buffless. Let's see. Just one moment here. We should maybe try to let the buffs expire first. But then that would require me to take out the doubled health bar as well, right? Or we can just try to post a better record on that anyway. Might as well. Like, we'll probably run it once and then... Actually, let's see. How am I doing for rare stones right now? 3. Yeah, let's actually see about grabbing an upgrade, because I was thinking of maybe grabbing one on Space Ranger, perhaps. Unless we want to Give Cutter another round. Let's do Space Ranger. Situational, but very useful. And we're going to switch back to Time Crash anyway. I mean, worst case, we'll just start with a mini-boss again. But yeah, I guess we won't be doing debuffless records after all, because I don't know if there's a good way to manually make the buffs expire. Made the second stage of the Litwick line first and designed backwards from that. Yeah, because Litwick goes up to, what, Chandelure, right? I don't really know my Pokemon that well, I'm just trying to recall. Oh yeah, Chandelure was the final step, as you were saying there. Yeah, no, I recall that now. I think when I played the relevant generation that I actually did have Chandelure as part of my core party, but I don't quite remember. Yeah, sure, we might as well try to do a time improvement on the middle tier. And by then we'll have buffs expire. And let's see here. Gormondo first? Yeah, Gormondo will definitely time crash him. Okay, let's remember to actually activate time crash this time. That's a rather important part of this equation. And we'll just knock him out quickly. And what do we go for next? Yeah, let's try the Space Ranger upgrade. Let's see how it does. It looks as though... Chandelure looks as though Tim Burton made a Pokemon. Yeah, that does seem a pretty good way of describing it. Okay. Whoops, let's dodge. Whoops. Okay, he's gonna shield. I should get around that then. Whoops. A little bit of chip damage there. And then... yeah, that should take her out quickly. Okay, that works. What do we got next? We got DD... Yeah, we're sticking on it to Space Ranger with this one. Okay, too many of these guys are in the way. Didn't realize the ads would just mess with the lock-on. Okay. The dodge, however, is going to come off nicely. Whoops. There we go. Luckily I could change my mind about dodge there. Whoops. Missed a chance to snipe him before going into this phase. Okay. Oh, that's actually one of the only times I've come close to being hit by that. Oh. Nope. Missing some of the dodges here. And we'll take him out. We get Time Crash again, which is great. Let's fill up. going to be a dual mini-boss fight, so we can just loot one item after the first one. No, actually it's not. It's going to be Silly-Dillo. I misread a silhouette. Just silly silhouette. Time Crash is actually not too good against him, from my experience, because you don't damage him at all going into phase 2, so... My name came up in a spelling bee. B minutes. Which spelling bee? Is this like the scripts competition, or is this something on Twitch, or something else entirely? Okay, we'll just fight him as normal then. Let's see here. And yeah, welcome B-Minutes. We already accomplished 100% on this stream, but since I did it really early in the broadcast, I thought I'd stay to do a few more Coliseum runs just for fun. Okay. Oh, he's got something else. Nope, missed a star. That's okay. I've got plenty of room here. Whoops. Nope, dodging into that was not a great idea. Whoop, missed. Hang on. I always have a very poor estimate of what my range on the stars actually is. Okay. I was hoping to go for it, but... Total miss. Whoops. At least the projectile range on these is effectively unlimited. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of snipe him as he goes. Oops, missed. Yeah, so timing here got significantly extended by the fact that it took Time Crash into this fight, which was really not clever. It was one of the few instances where Time Crash is actually an awful choice. The second annual B-Minute spelling bee for 7th graders who don't know what a noun is. How do you get to 7th grade and not know what a noun is? That seems very concerning. Okay, we'll finally give an upgraded cutter a go on this fight. And the point here is to partly exhaust my buffs so we can make some buffless attempts on some of these fights. Because I'd like to score some new buffless record times. Whoops. We'll get right up to the tree. So I may even want to deliberately take damage later. Oops. I knew that was coming. And yeah, we can destroy the root system. See, you can tell that Wispy Woods, or the various variations of Wispy Woods, keep coming back to these games, because if DDD is the king, then Wispy Woods is like the IT guy, because he has root access. Do we want to stay on Cutter? Yes, we do. Tempted to go Tornado. You know what? We can do Time Crash and give it a proper go. And we'll switch to... Oh, wow, he just dies instantly. Okay. Alright. In that case, let's go Ice on Bonkers. Yeah, I forgot how weak they are in the normal form, rather than the buff form that we see in post-game. Yeah. Like I said, part of the point is to try to deplete the second life bar. Laureline, we're going Ranger. Yeah, so the idea after this is I might want to do the final arena again buffless to see if I can do it, or see how close I get. Because we're very close to doing it last time. I feel like with a couple of item upgrades that we actually could do it. Okay. There we go. And Meta Knight next. I could go Time Crash, but I'd be worried about stalling me out after that. We could probably do it. I actually have no idea how well Time Crash is going to perform against him, so we'll try it. It's probably going to be quite bad for my record here. No, we'll stand. We'll wait. Actually, how do I... Okay, there we go. There we go. Come on, Time Crash? Do I not even get to crash into him? There we go. Okay, that was not very effective. Let's get some stars, please. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not very well practiced with normal Kirby. Whoops. That's okay. And my aim is not great, but we managed to get a hit. This battle's about to get way more intense. Oop. Ha, no. Big miss on both accounts. It's okay if we miss and lose the second life bar. That's fine. That's partly intended. And now we're finally buffless again. Whoop. Nope. See, I normally don't even see this part of the pattern because he's usually down by the time we have to deal with this. Yeah, he's got to be grounded first, or we gain some elevation before we try to fire. That's okay. We're learning more about the fight, so... Got him. So yeah, I probably won't even beat my existing time just because of the two fights that we've done as normal, taking forever. Wild DDD? Yeah, we could go sword. Tornado might be more fun, though. I guess this is a fun run. Let's do something different. Master DDD, I should say. Forgo DDD. Okay, he's going to go into beast mode in a bit. But until that point, let's try to knock him out. And really chase him down, which is... And we can also switch to hammer at this point. And yeah, Master Hammer Plus just wrecks him in one go. Normal Leongar, I've barely seen this guy over the course of the game, to be honest. I think we must have gone hammer against him in the past. Yeah, we can stay on it. Might as well. It's a fun run. We're not just going to do Morpho Sword the whole way like we did for the previous clear. Whoops. Yeah, just going to get right up into his face. And then phase 2, he's not going to have much of a health pool for this. Whoops. Nope, missed pattern. Okay, let's actually dodge some of this stuff for once. We did a chase after this, right? Chase in the past have gone cutter. Time Crash might actually be really interesting against this phase, in fact. Yeah, we'll do Time Crash. I can't resist. And we might as well. And we'll just run into him a few times. Okay. Maybe not that effective, in fact, but... no, we have a chance to switch to Ranger in the middle of this fight, right? If I recall. There is a Ranger enemy coming quickly. We can also just bop now. Whoops. Oh, missed my opportunity to get that last snipe there. Okay. Oops. There we go. That was quick. That's the first time I've actually used that Ranger enemy ever in that fight. Previously, we just didn't have much of an opportunity to. Okay, yeah, we could go Space Ranger. We could also try Needle just to do something different. I think I did use Ranger the first time I cleared this, though, so... We won't go with Sword, because, like I said, we want to try something different. I wonder how Needle would work with this, in fact. I am tempted to. Yeah, we might as well. Trying new things. Vecto Forgo is probably this thing's scientific name. Maybe so. I don't know what Defecto is for as the genus name. But after playing through the main content of this game, I kind of casually looked up, you know, Kirby lore stuff on YouTube. I didn't get very far because, honestly, it seems like it's probably the closest thing that Nintendo games get to looking like conspiracy YouTube, almost, you know, with this rabbit hole that is ever further beyond my comprehension. Whoops. Which seems like it's, you know, a lot of wild but entertaining speculation. Whoops. I keep losing Needle. Maybe Needle's not great for this, but that's okay. The point was to try it out. I haven't really used Needle in quite a while, in fact. It's great for fights with slanted surfaces, I think, because you can really take advantage of the gravity mechanics and the physics for how Needle is going to work, but for fights like this one, it might not be so great. Yeah. I guess I'm not really taking advantage of the range on it either. That's okay, we'll get through this phase quickly, I'm sure. And do I want a quick rundown? Oh, I don't know. You can certainly try. I mean, I have played a decent number of Kirby games in the past, but it's more that I've always kind of taken the repeated elements and the kind of boss designs and such more as a suggestion rather than as a continuous story, although I do understand that there's quite a lot that kind of implicitly carries over from one game to the next. And yeah, that was not even the best time. Too much padding in between, but the idea was to shed the buffs so we can do this. 4 major forces: good, evil, chaos, and dream. And the first 3 are obvious, but dream includes both artistic ability and psychic power. Okay, I guess that explains things like the artist copy ability, which was always a fun one to play. Do we even have any stones left? We only have 1. That's not good enough for any upgrades, so let's just switch to some other ability and get straight into the advanced mode. Now, I still haven't upgraded Time Crash. I should really do so at some point, but the idea now is that I'm going to try to defeat the Ultimate Arena buffless, and we'll see how well we do. Let's switch to Time Crash anyway. I'll switch off to a different item depending on what we're offered on the fights as we see them. You know, in case we draw Goromondo first or something, and this would simplify things quite a bit. Or even draw one of the mini-bosses first, because then I can switch to a copy ability right away. Ultimate Cup Z. Let's try it. You're saying Void is a powerful entity, can be charged with any of those forces, and that Kirby is heavily implied to be a good charged Void. Yeah, it seems like a lot of things are just by kind of inspecting a lot of the repeated artistic elements of the games closely. Like I was saying, having missed a couple of the games in recent memory, so I didn't play Return to Dreamland or either of the 3DS mainline games, and I kind of got back into the series with Star Allies after a long time away, apart from the paintbrush games, of course. I didn't know, for instance, that apparently the butterfly that turns into Morpho Knight had been something that had been kicking around for a while, for instance. Like, just as an example of, you know, recurring artistic element. I remember Time Crash consistently being good against Claraline, and Claraline gives you swords, so I'm going Time Crash here. Okay. I think Claraline gives you swords. I'm actually not sure about Phantom Form now that I think about it. Oh, whoops. Never mind. Okay. Maybe not a good idea after all then. Whoops. Nope. Oh, and she's just going to cancel out of that shot. Okay, I guess we'll do the dodging pattern here. And I have no opportunity to counter. Not that I ever would in this phase anyway. Okay. So, yeah, I guess she doesn't give you swords in Phantom Form, so I miscalculated here. Okay. She's going to do the Leon Cross, as I've come to think of it. I'm taking way too much damage on this for the first fight. Should probably switch to sword after this. That is way too much damage for one fight. Particularly a relatively easy one like that one. Okay, mini-bosses do allow me to... no, this is Silly Dillo. Tornado versus Silly Dillo, that's going to be rough, but we'll do it. Most final bosses, point 4, seem to be Dark Matter. Twisting the Evil Charged Void. Whoop. Okay, let's just kick him and just dodge the cage. And just try to get into phase 2 quickly. There we go. Now, Silly-Dillo is pretty easy to work with defensively. It's just that Tornado does get me really close up in terms of range, so... But a nice thing about Tornado is that I can get right up in his face as often as possible. Okay. Okay. Let's dodge the cage. And then just get right into the counter. Okay. Okay. He's gonna counter Tornado me. I can just outrun, actually. Don't need to dodge around everywhere. I can just wait and get close in. Whoops. Oh, bad idea. Bad idea. Let's dodge. Yeah, I did not play that well. We might wind up spending on a continue for this Coliseum run, unfortunately. It's just going that badly. That's okay. Still gonna try to do this item list, though, even if we do have to grab some continues to do it. There we go. How much do you want to bet that Chaos Elfless is also a reincarnation of Void, considering that its second face heavily resembles Void in its attacks? Yeah. I have no insight to offer on that score. We're going Hammer against Gormondo. I think that's going to be wiser here. Let's also stack some healing items, not too many. Yeah, given that we're already way down on health for being 2 fights in. This is actually going quite a lot worse than my original attempt at doing an itemless run, so we'll just try to play better defense, because being grabbed by Gormondo was a big issue for me in the initial series of fights I had with him when just doing the post-game world, so... Like, I just kept getting swiped. You probably outrun, though. Whoops. There we go. Actually dodged. And then I have to remember that he will try to do a triple swipe here. Whoops. There we go. Still low on health, but oh wait. The butterfly is this universe's Grim Reaper and assumes its true form by eating powerful souls. We're switching back to sword so I can get some replenishment in the next few fights. So we might as well load up for now. It's landed on Kirby at the start of almost every game, but we don't know if it's because it wants to eat Kirby's soul or if it's being a portent of disaster. Yeah, it's one of those things that was always kind of there, which I just didn't pay that much attention to. And it's been nice to kind of see it developed into something like Morpho Knight, which I find to be just a really appealing design. Okay. Yeah, doing the spin with the secondary charge seems to be pretty good here, so let's just be careful. Actually close to a full bank again, which is nice. Whoops, thought I'd dodge that. There we go. Nope, nope. Totally miscalculating. Alright, nope. Went too far out. There. There we go. Okay, take a moment to rest. Yeah. Dragon fire. I mean, I guess fire burns up trees, but I think I'd rather stay with sword here just to build up some health again. Sword was really working out for me well in our first run today, so I do like the idea of staying on it for now. Whoa. That seems like a dangerous place to stand. Sword does not take you through the fence when you dodge, so unfortunately I'm way out of position here. I got caught quite a ways out, so whoops. Yeah, no attack for me there. Let's get out of the root system here before we get into too much trouble. And yeah, we're full charge, which is great. Mini bosses, yeah, we're staying on sword. Yeah, Rotator, that's actually a much cleaner and more elegant way of presenting it, I think, than what I've seen elsewhere. I usually think it's a little bit silly to read too much into continuity when things are just kind of mainly suggested by repeated motifs and artwork and such, you know, like the people who are really crazy about like Zelda timeline theories and so on. But there's clearly enough going on with Kirby in terms of there being this basis for their boss designs and the kind of void elements to the game that I totally see the appeal of like trying to work out what the system is behind all that, because you know it is something that does seem thought out, which is often not the case with things like this. You know, so I can totally see why there's a certain appeal to doing like Kirby universe lore the way that there wouldn't be for something like Mario, for instance. Just because the kind of repeated elements are just tantalizing enough. We've got another mini boss fest coming up. That's actually good. We'll just try to continue staying healthy if I can. Yeah. Wild Edge is going to get smacked a little bit here. We can actually kind of stay at range too, which is great. With a gigant-sized sword on my end. And it does confirm that I do plan to lore out as lore. Yeah, that's interesting. And have been doing so since the Wii game. That would also make sense, because having missed a lot since the Wii game, it seems like that's where a lot of this has started to kick in, like the whole... or at least like a lot of the existing Kirby elements, like dark matter and such, would have been brought into a kind of background continuity. Yeah, I should actually go back over the game since Return to Dreamland at some point, but they're getting harder and harder to find physically, especially with some of the resurgence of interest in Kirby brought on by this game. That it seems like things like physical prices have gone way up. And the supply is quite limited. Even for a relatively recent game like a Robobot, which has been, like most DS games, like all 3DS games, been out of print for some time, I think. But yeah, I know that I technically could get things digitally before the shops shut down on those systems next year, but I'd rather get some discs if I can. Discs and cartridges. But yeah, I'm much more motivated to go back over to older Kirby games after playing this one, because This has really kind of brought me back to the mainline part of the series in a big way. I was previously much more interested in the Kirby spin-off games, like the paintbrush ones in particular, Canvas Curse, Rainbow Curse. You know, wasn't quite as interested in standard Kirby, even going back to the oldest games like Adventure and Dreamland and such, which were always fun, but, you know, not really a main part of my Nintendo experience. But, yeah, this game has really kind of piqued my interest again. I can attack the sword to break it. I didn't know that. The first time I faced standard Meta Knight in the first Meta Knight Cup, I did not pick up the sword. And somebody in my chat was saying they were actually kind of really surprised to see the cutscene because it just hadn't even occurred to them to skip the sword, or at least they hadn't seen up to that point that it actually gives you a separate introduction. Okay. Yeah, we're obviously staying on sword because that's all we have. I'm glad sword has actually allowed me to kind of get back on track with these fights. So no need to spend on a continue yet because we'll probably want to save that for the final fight. Whoa. Okay, let's remember that DDD does drop fire everywhere on this particular phase. Whoops. Okay, phase 2. That'll be quick. And we just need to make sure we don't get caught up in his stomps. I don't think I'll be back within range of him quickly enough to make this matter too much. Whoops. Just a big sword here. It's not going to get me too much done. Whoop. Oh, whoops. Got caught up in the stomp range here. And we'll try to catch him at range. It does a surprising amount of damage, as I was saying earlier. This skull attack here. And it homes in, for sure. It's actually quite good for these high movement phases here. And we'll get him down really quickly. The pink demon. That seems to tie into the lore in some small ways. I think the commentator knows something I don't. Okay, we've got Leon next. I think before taking health items, I have enough of a cap here on my health that enough room rather, that I think I'm going to try to replenish on this fight. As long as we dodge cleanly. Okay, he's going to do his cross attack here, and we're just not going to be within range of that for the most part. Yeah, we're just going to get right up into his face here. And then do dodge and skull. Phase 2. Okay. Okay. Standing way too close, but... that's going to get him into the forgo phase. We'll hopefully skip over most of this with high damage before we get into too much trouble. There we go. Because I do not want to deal with his assistant. Okay, that actually got me charged up quite a ways, so we'll fight Morpho this way and save the remaining items for afterwards, going into the final fight. So we may be able to do this after all. Yeah. Okay. And actually, just kiting him with range ability seems to do a fair bit. He's going to try to do that to me in return, of course, but we'll try to dodge out. Whoop. There we go. That gets Morpho into phase 2 here. That's probably going to give me the tilt. Everything. Oh, that's a bad place to stand with the camera. He's going to do his tier 3 charge. Then just do a spin into him. Whoa, okay, that's quite a stun. Yeah, we previously outranged that, which is why we didn't have to deal with the tilt phase when I did my first run through this earlier. Well, let's just not deal with this. How did I lose my sword? Oh, because I hit the boundary, okay. Didn't realize that. Didn't realize it could happen, rather. So we're just going to counter each other like this. Nope. Then we'll dodge this way. There we go, pretty clean. Yeah, we had a really rough start in this run. Just took way too much damage early on, but once I kind of settled back into going with the Morpho sword, we seem to be doing pretty fine after that, so we may finish this buffless after all. Perhaps even itemless. Yeah, that'll be the idea. I'm going to avoid using the item. I don't know why somebody would take ice into this battle. I guess if you are really good at landing to freeze, but I am not good at landing to freeze, so we're going to fill up and go. We'll have to play a bit more defensively. Morpho Knight was designed as far back as the GameCube game. Yeah, I know there were some magazine scans or something as a kind of undeveloped Meta Knight variant. I guess it went all the way back to the cancelled GameCube game that was sort of announced way back in 2005. Technically, he predates Galactonite, doesn't he? Or was maybe kind of designed in conjunction. Yeah, I mainly just knew Morpho Knight through having played Star Allies, which would be the sensible way to know anything about him, or have seen him in that design before. Given that that's the one playable instance leading up to this one. But yeah, very pleasant surprise to see Morpho show up in 3D. Because it was just an instantly appealing design, I thought. Yeah. Okay, let's just dodge as much as we can. Oh, okay. That did not go well. That's okay, we'll just try to make sure the sword keeps me topped up. And then, yeah, no real opportunity to get the big sword there. Ooh, that was very misjudged. Where's my sword? Come on. Where's my sword? There we go. No. Bad fight so far. Okay, let's just try to get some regular slashes in just so we can get back in this phase. I didn't really even need to deal with this part of the pattern earlier because we just got through this phase so quickly when I was buffed up. Okay. Let's see this. No. Nope. I thought I could dodge that in time. That was also misjudged. Yeah, having them attack me on a lower level and then jumping out of it seems to be the best. I don't want to be attacked by the surrounding swords of light while in the air. I'll catch up to some of the other messages in a bit. Still kind of focusing on the fight right now. And yeah, we'll just try to... Oh, whoops. Thought I had enough time to dodge that. No. Oh, bad idea. Bad idea. That was awful, actually. Okay. Trying to go a little bit too aggressive here. Yeah, considering how bad the damage is in phase 2, I feel like I'm not in a good spot. That's okay, we'll try to charge up again. And then, as a dodging phase, once I understand this pattern, it's actually not too bad. Okay. We'll try to fill up a little bit here. And also spot this instantly, which is going to be a big help. Oops. Gotta stop losing the sword so often. Okay. Yeah, this is another part of the pattern I didn't have to deal with previously. That's okay. I know how to deal with it. It's not too difficult. Whoops. As long as we don't lose the sword. Too much incoming damage. Yeah, a little concerned about how we'll do in phase 2, given that in phase 2, if I just take a hit from the black hole, I'm gonna die right away. I think. Yeah, because the black hole by itself is going to knock out half my life bar. There we go. I almost want to maybe flub this mouthful phase here to have a little bit more uptime and to recharge, but no, that would be a bad idea. That's probably too risky. Okay, let's tilt this in the correct direction, and there we are. Yeah, because I haven't played Ultra, but I did play the original Superstar, so I know that I was not familiar with Galactonite originally from Super Nintendo.
And here we are.
Oh, no, we gotta remember... No! Oh, I'm dead. I'm totally dead. I keep forgetting that this pattern opens with the black hole. Okay. We just need to go super, super defensive at this point. And then... Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's just try to stay at range. Likewise for this part of the pattern. Whoops. No. I'm in big trouble. So I'm not using the health item because I am trying to do this itemless, as I said before, so we'll probably just pay 100 for to continue and just redo this fight. That seems like the most sensible thing at this point. And that's okay, we've got a bank of cash. I'm not using it for anything except further item upgrades. So I'm not too concerned. The true test of skill hasn't even started yet, so we won't be getting a very good time on this, but that's okay. It's already below my existing record. Anyway, let's skip. We can do a much more cautious Phase 1 this time. And yeah, the black hole at the beginning of Phase 2 is actually the main issue here. I keep running into that thing when I should run far away until it's over. Okay. Okay. Haven't really been able to do anything with him yet. But yeah, you can just shield directly into that. The shield is a lot better than I thought. The guard move, rather. The crouch guard is actually completely impervious to a lot of boss attacks in this game, as long as your timing is good. I discovered that the first time I fought Chloraline, in fact, where I just guarded through everything before I learned how it was she worked. Okay. Doing a jump out of a spin there worked fairly well, except I got caught up at the end. Oh. Yeah, this does knock out your copy ability, unfortunately. And I do not want to be caught without the sword if I do take a death, because I'm fairly flexible, but I don't think I could do this fight with ice, which is my worst performing item in many ways. Okay. We're getting close here. Okay. Let's find a sword. Where is it? We are. Let's try to get a full charge going into Phase 2 if we can. Well, I'll catch up on the chat in just a moment. So for the spinny laser attack, you can destroy the things that shoot the laser. Huh. Oh, you mean the orbs? Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. I mean, previously I was just trying to stay at range for that. Whoa! No, I lost so much height there. Didn't expect that pattern to take so long. That's like the first time I've been hit by that in quite some time. Okay, let's replenish. Where's the shadow? Where's the shadow? I don't see it. Hang on. How did I not see it? Okay, that's bad. Got a big heal there. I usually have no trouble spotting the copy, and I just couldn't see it that time. Northernmost, oh, too late now. Yeah, I don't know how I just missed it that time. Couldn't visualize it at all. That's okay. More time for me to get my health back up to full, maybe. As long as we don't get completely taken out by some of the beams like we did last time. This pattern's easy. I usually don't get hit by it. Whoops. Okay. Okay. Let's not... Oh. Gets wiped this time. There we go. Alright. We're gonna see some projectiles here? No. There we go. There we go. We'll just duck under. That's fine. That could have gone quite badly, given how much height I was losing, but... Yeah, so we can go under, we can go over. Doesn't matter too much either way. As long as we fill up on health again, hopefully. Okay, he's just going to stand there and take it for a bit. Okay. That's fine, we can deal with that. Mostly. Okay, we're in much better shape as long as we don't get black holed again. Oops. Let's try to snipe him from here. Yeah, there we go. The boss theme is amazing, yes. I always appreciate it when endgame music is kind of especially appropriate for lots of repetition. Always kind of felt that way with a lot of the endgame marathon levels in Mario as well, that where Gusty Garden has kind of really set in recent games. No, let's stay away. No, go away. Go away, no. Electro Dude, you were saying something earlier about getting out of range of the black hole, and I don't remember what it was. Okay. Because previously, the sliding pattern had worked for me on earlier runs. Obviously not today. Yeah, we need to not get hit by a second black hole, of course. This guy's gonna go chakram cutter on me, apparently. Oh yeah, you're saying I can kill the orbs, right? I can do that with the range ability too, in fact. I think. Okay. Doing alright. If we get black hole the second time, that would be bad, but this I can usually do, this kind of Twitch platforming segment here. We just need to read it accurately and find a short one right away. Okay. Not too difficult to read. I kind of watched the shadow pattern too to see what's going to come in quickly. I think that's enough height. Good. Thought I'd missed the last platform, but thankfully not the case. Okay. Whoa. Just gonna whack him with the big sword. And then... Okay. Okay. Nope. Taking a few too many hits here. Nope. Okay. This, I just need to not get hit, I think. Let's not be too fancy about it. Nope. Black hole, go away, go away. No, I'm dead. rule of good boss design is going to be hard and players have to do it over and over. Make sure that music is amazing. That is exactly right. Okay, we need to figure out Black Hole. That is by far the biggest issue. I think I just need to run out and... I don't know, because I'm clearly not getting enough out of the dodge move, even if I pull away quite a bit. Run around, yeah, okay. That kind of makes sense if you think about black holes. If I try to circle perpendicular to them, or... I can attack the orb when it's in fireball mode. Okay. That's okay. If we can get to phase 2 cleanly... Yeah, I was worried about getting caught by a second black hole, because like that was definitely going to be the end of me. Okay. This guy's way out of range. Let's... should have gotten a slow dodge there. There we go. Got a little bit trapped. Yeah, usually do 1 or 2 swipes here at the very end. We'll just do the level 2 spin here. Whoops, no. Okay. That's okay, still at nearly a full bank. I always stand a little too close here, even though he's standing over an unsafe zone. Oh, nope. Thought it'd be fancy here. That was, as usual, a bad idea. Okay, let's not get caught up this time. Yeah. Nope. Too late on that. Okay, Shadow is up top. Nope, got hit. That's okay. We're not in bad shape. Let's not lose the sword going into the phase transition. That would be pretty bad. Although there will be a moment when I can stop before mouthful mode kicks in, so... Whoops. There we go. Alright, let's be careful with the black hole this time. And let's lift this up. Up we go. Yeah, let's skip. Okay, run around.
And here we are.
Run around? No, that didn't work at all. I was trying to circle there and it just did not go. Yeah, we're going to need a better plan than that. Yeah, previously I was able to just pull away. I feel like that's probably still... If I can get it to work consistently, that would be a much more comfortable way of doing that. I do need to jump into these attacks sometimes. It's okay, let's just fill up on health as much as we can, so I don't need to worry too much about the black hole. Yep. Okay. You have to run around with a flow of the black hole, which is clockwise. Okay, I couldn't quite see. Because I was honestly kind of doing a bit of a panicked reaction there to try to get away from it, but... Okay. There we go. Yeah, if you read that quickly, that's not too bad. Alright. Plenty of clearance. Alright. Whoa. Yeah, this I actually know I can just run out of. I don't really need to dodge it, but... Okay. Okay, trying to get in close for the attack. Yeah, that actually just disable some of what we have to deal with here, so... no, I don't want Cutter. Or do I want Cutter? No, I don't want Cutter. Cutter would actually be quite good for some of this, but... I actually didn't know you could claim Cutter there, even though it's totally sensible that it would. And yeah, most of these abilities, in fact, are very similar to my own moveset. Got it. Got it. Okay. I mean, these abilities basically are kind of a mimic of Kirby's moveset in many ways, so... Okay, if we just don't get hit by too many things and get them down before the next black hole, I actually think we can do this. Oh, if we don't get hit by too many things, I said. Okay. There we go. Complete. Another thing about Kirby lore, it seems Kirby himself doesn't seem to care. He just fights for his friends or for food. People might think it's a metaphor for childhood, yeah. And the thing is that Kirby still manages to get the job done. Kirby would probably have a much harder time getting the job done without that veneer of innocence, in fact. It's a very pure kind of motivation. Anyway, I'm glad I managed to demonstrate that I can do this buffless. A nice way to revisit some of these fights, even though I did try to go Morpho Sword most of the way. On both occasions. And we did have the 2 continues, of course, extending the clock on this run, which, if I were more careful with the black hole, probably didn't need to be the case. But the important thing is we got it. And yeah, I mean, it is still described as an impressive new record, even though time-wise it's silver by a long, long distance. Anyway, let's pick this up. And we only have 4, so I actually can't upgrade Time Crash yet, but yeah, I've basically shown off what I want with this game, though. I think that we'll probably have an early ending on the stream today, so since we had a fairly late start anyhow. But pretty satisfying to just kind of go through everything and still have time to spare to do a little extra arena, and I'll probably continue to play some of this off stream, but in terms of what I have to demonstrate on stream, other than the Hell secret rooms, I think we pretty much did everything. I don't know if we have anything else to say here. Yeah, we still haven't figured out what this whole toy hammer method is going to be, but it's something I'll probably have to figure out off stream myself. So the solo record here was, once again, toy hammer. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we will, as usual, pick some outro music. Electrodude, you're saying wait, hold up. You're telling me that there's something else I haven't done, or what have I not seen that you would like me to check? They beat the Meta Knight Cup in 6 seconds. Yes, you did read that correctly. I don't know if I can get that to show up twice. I don't know if that's plausible or some kind of exploit, because it seems like some of the phase transitions would at least block you off. Maybe it was just Meta Knight. I thought it was Meta Knight Cup, though. Because you would think that at least a phase transition on, what is it, on the tree, on Tropic Woods would create a bit of a problem, but I think during the phase transitions it does freeze the timer, though, because if we were watching the buffs and debuffs carefully earlier, that did seem to be the case. So I don't know. I mean, something is going on with fully upgraded Toy Hammer. And you're saying it's 100% an exploit. Okay. Yeah, because Toy Hammer has so many of those records, I thought it might be something fishy. Toy Hammer enables a super high jump. Oh, okay, so I guess you just glitch out of the fight or something then. And just break it completely. Because I was looking at some of those times and thinking this is totally implausible, and I don't know what this Toy Hammer strategy would be. It's possible to dupe the final boss with it. Okay, I'll have to look that up in video afterwards, I think. Anyway, that's going to be pretty much it from me today, and probably it for streaming this game as well, unless there is anything else that comes up with it, or, you know, any additional content, or anything like that. Given the incredible amount of post-game support for Star Allies, I think that's actually entirely possible, but even if it isn't, I think this has been an extremely complete experience. One of the most complete Kirby experiences I can remember, actually, in terms of just the pacing of the main game and the post-game as well. That's, yeah, this was really kind of a full-fat product here. Let's take a look at the board here. Now, these tracks don't loop, so if I pick something by the time we get out... Yeah, so we do have some extra tracks. Yeah, by the time we get out, it'll probably proceed to the next track, but... And this track, of course, we know how to bring up indefinitely from going to the 100% collection machine. We might do that, actually. Yeah, one thing we had pointed out previously was that the characters do kind of match the tempo of the music as they dance. Roughly. Yeah, kind of a lovely tune. But I think what we'll do then is we'll actually bring up this as the finale music, or not this, rather, the collection screen. And that seems like a good way to end. And we'll stare at somebody. You know what, let's just say, what's one of the big 5-star achievements here? Yeah, let's just look at Chaos Alphaless. This will be our conclusion. So thank you so much for joining me today and seeing me through the ending. And thank you additionally for all of the insights on Kirby lore and series history and so on from Rotator Conex and Mr. Electrodude, as usual. We will be mostly going back to Mario Maker over the next few streams, I think. And then we'll see. My streaming schedule obviously has been a little bit volatile lately. We're kind of going back to some later start times, but we'll see how things go. And as usual, announcements, schedule changes, etc. are going to be on the Discord. And we'll probably see if we can fit in some kind of Maker stream tomorrow. If not, then certainly some more next week. Your levels as usual this weekend. So thank you so much for watching. We will send you on a raid somewhere in just a moment while we just kind of cycle through this unlockable music track at the very end. Electrodude, I will follow that link at the end of the stream to see what you're showing me, if it's the Toy Hammer glitch or something else. Yeah, posting it in Discord is a good idea as well. But this was a wonderful experience. It has been my pleasure to go through 100% of Kirby and Forgotten Land over so many sessions in the past few weeks. Thank you for joining me for so much of it, whether you are here live or catching up in a pod. This was a wonderful time. And until we see something equivalent, or even near equivalent, I guess that's all for me today. So have a great day or week ahead of you. Enjoy whatever it is you're playing. We'll see you around. And as always, fare thee well.